Imagine being 35 and financially free, able to travel, invest, or even retire early. Now, imagine the opposite, still stuck in debt, paycheck to paycheck, and struggling to save. Scary, right? The financial choices you make in your 20s will define your future. Stick with me as we uncover the 5 biggest money mistakes to avoid while you're young, so you can set yourself up for a life of wealth, freedom, and peace of mind. The stakes are high, but the solutions are within your grasp. Let's dive into mistake number 1. And trust me, this one's a silent killer. First up, ignoring budgeting. I get it. Budgeting can seem boring or restrictive, but without it, you're driving blind. Think of a budget as your personal roadmap. Without one, you risk overspending and running out of money halfway through the month. It's not about counting pennies, it's about giving yourself permission to spend wisely. The excitement comes when you realize that with the right budget, you're in control of your money, not the other way around. Quick question. Do you know where your last $100 went? Most people don't. Scary, right? Now imagine knowing exactly where every dollar goes. How empowering would that be? But budgeting is just the beginning. There's another mistake that could put a massive roadblock in your journey to wealth. That brings us to mistake number 2, accumulating debt without a plan. Credit cards, student loans, personal loans. They're easy to get, but harder to manage. Now, debt in itself isn't bad, but without a clear strategy to pay it off, it becomes a heavy burden. Picture this. For every $100 you owe on your credit card, you're probably paying $20 extra in interest. That's your hard-earned money slipping through your fingers. Instead of letting debt pile up, create a strategy. Tackle high-interest debts first. Here's a pattern interrupt for you. Do you really want to spend the next 10 years paying off something you bought on impulse? Didn't think so. Speaking of impulse, this next mistake is a trap that can be incredibly hard to avoid. Mistake number 3 is a big one. Lifestyle inflation. Ever notice that as soon as you start earning more, you start spending more? New job, new apartment, maybe even a new car. It feels great in the moment, but what about your future? The money you should be saving or investing is getting eaten up by things you don't really need. Here's the reality. Just because you can afford something doesn't mean you should buy it. Want to feel excited about the future? Imagine what it would be like to have saved thousands by the time you're 30, rather than constantly feeling like you're barely scraping by. But there's something even more dangerous than lifestyle inflation. It's the fear of taking risks. That leads us to mistake number 4, not investing early. If you're not investing yet, you're missing out on the power of compounding. Every year you wait, you're leaving money on the table. I know it can feel intimidating or risky, but here's the truth. Time in the market beats timing the market. Start small, even if it's $50 a month. Those small investments add up over time. Here's a fun question to shake things up. How would it feel to wake up at 50, knowing you've got $1 million portfolio? Pretty nice, right? But there's one last mistake that could derail even the best financial plans, and it has nothing to do with money itself. Lastly, not having an emergency fund is a mistake that can push you into financial disaster. Life is unpredictable. Medical bills, car repairs, or sudden job loss can happen to anyone. Without an emergency fund, you're forced to rely on credit cards or loans, sending you back into debt. Ideally, you should aim for at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved. Think of it as your safety net. Knowing you have that cushion makes life's uncertainties a lot less stressful. You've now seen the top 5 money mistakes people make in their 20s. But here's the key. These mistakes aren't just things to avoid. They're opportunities to build wealth if you take action now. The good news is, it's not too late to turn things around. By budgeting, managing debt, avoiding lifestyle inflation, investing early, and building an emergency fund, you'll set yourself up for a life of financial freedom. Imagine hitting 30 with no debt, a growing investment portfolio, and peace of mind knowing you're prepared for anything. That's not just financial success. It's the freedom to live life on your own terms. If you're ready to take control of your financial future, hit that subscribe button and start making these smart moves today. Your 30-year-old self will thank you. Thanks for watching, and remember, your financial future is built on the decisions you make today. Don't wait. Take control of your money now, and you'll reap the rewards for years to come.